this video, I'm going to be reviewing Scottie Pippen's book, Unguarded. I'll start off by saying Scottie Pippen is in my top 5 players of all time, my personal opinion. In the 90s and stuff with the Chicago Bulls, I think even back then, there was just something between Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman, because when I think of the Chicago Bulls, I think of those three. And I think even back then, there was something where I felt like I could relate to Scottie Pippen more, or that I liked his personality more. So when the book came out, I heard that the book was coming out. I was like, I have to get a copy of that. I even got it from Premier Collectibles. So I got a signed copy. So I finally got Scottie Pippen's autograph. Super thankful for that. When I was younger in the 90s and stuff, I probably saw a couple of Chicago Bulls games on TV. I don't really remember. And then, of course, at that time, everybody had, a Chicago Bulls or Looney Tunes, t-shirt. And then, of course, there was Space Jam and all that. And then I didn't really watch, basketball for several years. And now for the past several years, I have been. And I'm a huge Denver Nuggets fan with Nikola Jokic, Christian Brown, which Christian Brown is my all-time favorite player. A couple of years ago, I believe it was in 2020, the documentary of The Last Dance came out. It talks about the Chicago Bulls, their players, and their dynasty in that run, getting the 6 championships. And so I was like, that sounds interesting and stuff. I want to watch that. And it's one of, if not my favorite documentary of all time. And I've seen it multiple times, all the episodes all the way through. And so I enjoyed it. And then when hearing Scottie Pippen's thoughts about the Last Dance, and then reading it in the book, that was when I kind of realized, I was like, it is kind of more focused on Michael Jordan and stuff. Because, when you think of the Chicago Bulls, you think of Michael Jordan. The other players as well. But I didn't, I guess, consciously realize how much more, he was in it, than the others and stuff. And so the book is Scottie Pippen's own personal side of, or response to the Last Dance. In it, he talks about his entire life, his entire career. I mean, if you're a fan of the Chicago Bulls, read this book. If you are even remotely a fan of Scottie Pippen's, read this book. Because every stat, every date, statistics and everything is all in that. It is as in-depth as you'll ever know about Scottie Pippen stuff. He was drafted 5th overall in 1987 in the NBA draft. He had issues. I say issues, heartache. There was things going on with his family, and so when he was drafted and stuff, he did sign a contract that was for many years for not as much money as he was worth, or that other players would have gotten for the same length of contract. And so he goes, in depth talking about his relationship with other players, with Phil Jackson, the coach, and with Jerry Krause, the general manager, who both between what's in the book and what was in the Last Dance documentary. Me personally, I don't care for Jerry Krause. I know he's since passed away, but I did not care for him. The negative of the book and I've seen this with other reviews, is that Scottie Pippen does critique a lot. He complains. Complain isn't the right word, but it is. He does. It's not a victim mentality and stuff, because he is thankful for his life, and everything, but it's. But I even picked up that before I read anybody else's reviews, or saw anybody else's reviews and stuff, that he does complain about a lot of things, but gives his perspective on why he thinks this or that. Going into it, I had thoughts about Scottie Pippen and everything. Coming out of it, my thoughts are still the same. He's still one of my top 5 favorite basketball players of all time. So it was interesting, and and I learned a lot, and I'm thankful for that and everything. But yeah, if you're at all a fan of him or the Chicago Bulls, or just basketball in general, definitely read it and everything. If you have read it, let me know in the comments below. If from this video you go out and you read it, let me know in the comments below. I'm curious what everyone's thoughts are. Heck, even in the comments, if you watch basketball, tell me who your favorite, player is, past or current, or, whatever. But yeah, so I really enjoyed the book. I'm thankful that I have it. And thank you guys for watching.